Hello, friends. I wanted to jump on here real quick and talk a little bit about how do you know if something's worth pursuing? How do you know if an opportunity is worth dedicating your time and your effort, your blood, sweat, and tears? How do you know if something's worth it? Because this is a great question that was brought up to me by someone, a young man who reached out to me, and it's a great question. And I wanted to give my 2 cents. So this young man reached out to me. He's interested in learning about overages, but he has some questions. He wants to know, what's the likelihood of success? How likely am I going to be able to succeed if I dedicate time and energy into this? It's a valid question. Um, but there were some certain things that stood out to me. Okay. And I'll just kind of read a little bit. I won't read the whole thing, but just one little comment. Um, because here's the thing, guys, the reality is, and not just with overages, with any business, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what niche you're in. In any business, the likelihood of success, of achieving, a long-term successful outcome is much lower than the likelihood of failure. Okay. It's very rare in overages and in both business in general, okay, that you succeed at your first go at something. Okay. I know that most people that are watching my videos and learning about overages and surplus funds, most people are not going to be successful in this industry. Now, why is that? There's multiple reasons why. One is patience. People lack the patience, or people suffer from the shiny object, and they'll start one thing, and then something else will appear to them that looks easier or simpler, and they will jump to that thing, and they jump from thing to thing to thing to thing throughout their lifetime. Okay, I was one of those people. Okay, I've done wholesaling real estate. I was in a network marketing company at one point in time. Multiple different things. And it wasn't until I focused 100% of my efforts into one thing that I actually finally started seeing results with that one thing. Okay. Now, here's the caveat though, too. And this is a difficult concept to understand, because in your pursuit of success, whatever success is to you, you will experience multiple failures. Multiple failures. Failure is a part of the process in whatever goal you are trying to achieve. Okay, and so I want to share this comment, because I basically said, here's the thing: most people are not successful in this business. Most people that try fail. Okay, for the reasons I listed. They become distracted, they lack the patience, they quit, they don't give it their max effort, whatever it is, okay? And he said, I totally understand what you're saying. A lot of people give up before really giving it their all. I'm one of those people who doesn't give something their all unless they know it's worth their all. And I'm just trying to figure out if this is worth my all. Thank you again. I'll continue doing my research, seeing if I can figure out how to go about this process without paying for a course. Cool. Here's the issue. You cannot know if something is worth your all until you actually dedicate consistent maximum effort to that thing. Let me try to give you an example of this, a real life example. So when I was a kid, I started playing sports because I was a fat kid and people made fun of me. And regardless, one of the sports that I started doing was wrestling. I got into wrestling in 4th grade. And I was a bigger kid, I was a fat kid, so I did pretty good my first year. And then when I was in 5th grade, 5th or 6th grade, they made me go to the junior high level and wrestle with all the older kids. And so from 5th grade to my junior year of high school, I got my ass kicked, okay? Just beat on every practice. I won a few matches here and there, but I did not have a winning season until my junior year of high school, okay? So how many years is that? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. That's 7 years of failure and getting beat up and losing. And then what happened junior and senior year? Junior year, I got a little better. I had my first winning season. Senior year, I was a region champion, okay, placed at state. Wasn't a state champion. So even though, here's the point, I dedicated effort and time for over 7 years, and I still didn't see a maximal result. I still wasn't a state champion at the end of all of that. Was it a waste? Was all that time and effort a waste? No, it was not. Why? Because I learned skills and acquired knowledge during that time that not only helped me as a wrestler, but also, I will say this, out of all of my classes in high school, do you know the thing that prepared me for life the most? It was wrestling. Wrestling prepared me the most for life because it taught me that, number one, if I win or lose, it's on me. It is my responsibility. Wrestling isn't a team sport. I mean, you work on a team, but if you get pinned or if you pin the other guy, that's on you. It's no one else's fault. And that is life. That is life. Our results are 100% our fault. Okay? And here's the thing, we can dedicate time and energy into something, but we still might not get the result. We may not be the champion. And that's what I learned too. But here's the other caveat though. How many people can say that they won a championship at the region level in wrestling? Very few people can say that, right? And so that is also the same thing in life, is you may not be the top dog, you may not be the champion, you may not be the number one, but you can reach a certain percentage that is a very small percentage of the total population. And that percentage can still be a very high level, high achieving percentage. It could be whether it's how much you make, your income, how much you work or don't work, okay? Whatever it is for you, like just because you don't achieve the championship level, it doesn't mean you didn't accomplish something. Like I have accomplished what a vast majority of people have never even taken part of, have never even participated in, okay? Like you can achieve extraordinary results and still not be the champion. So what does that mean? Ultimately, even if you dedicate time and effort into something and it doesn't work out the way you want it to, you can still see success within that thing, but you also are acquiring knowledge and skills that may help you in your next endeavor, your next venture. I was not a state championship wrestler, but the skills and the lessons that I learned from wrestling have helped me become a better businessman in my adult life. Okay? So even if something doesn't work out, if you gave something your attention and your effort and you did your best, as long as you extract the lessons and the knowledge and the skills, if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that it wasn't in vain and it wasn't a waste. But here's the other thing. If you never start, if you never actually dedicate time or energy, then you never acquire those skills or that knowledge that's going to help you later on in life. Imagine if I had quit wrestling 2 years into it. I would have never been a region champion, but I also never would have learned the lessons that have helped me as an adult. So here's the thing. I hope this is making sense to you. And I want to try to drive this home. You'll never know if something is worth your time and effort until you actually go do the thing that you are exploring and researching. You won't. And when do you know when do you know when to change? When do you know when it's time to quit or when it's time to pivot to something else? I don't know. I can't give you that answer. Here is what I would say. Here is something that I think could help. Give yourself a set amount of, if you're looking into something, whether it's overages or a business opportunity, whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is in life, give yourself a set amount of time, 6 months, 12 months, and then say, here's what I'm willing to do. List out what you're going to do on a daily basis, the work and effort you're going to put into it, and then say, if I don't get X result by X date, then I will either move on to something else or change something or quit completely. So you can set limits so that you don't end up trying something for a long time that doesn't yield results, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. That's something that can help you. So if you're looking into like overages, here's what I would recommend. Be willing to dedicate 2 hours a day, 5 days a week to the process. That's your bare minimum. And do it for 6 months to 12 months. And if you don't see a result by then you move on, okay? And you take the skills that you acquired and you apply it to something else. But here's the thing. Most people won't even do that. Most people won't dedicate a minimum of 6 months to something. Why? Because they want it now. They want the result now. And so if you can be patient and you can, number one, dedicate consistent effort to one thing over a sustained period of time, you can beat out 90% of your competition in life. Like, I am not extraordinary. I am not special. The only reason, guys, that I have seen success in overages is because I've done it longer than most people. There are very few people like that have been doing it longer than me. There are some people out there, but that's the thing. And that should tell you something. That is a huge hint right there. Imagine that 7 years makes me a veteran. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I've only won because I've outlasted other people. It's not because I'm better. And that was something that wrestling taught me. If you last long enough in the game, you can get pretty close to the top. Maybe you don't get the very top. I was never the champion, the state wrestler. I was a region champ. That just means in the schools in my region, I beat all the guys there. At the state level, I was not that great. But I was still in the top 5 out of every high schooler in my state. And so I hope that makes sense. Is like, if you have patience and can dedicate consistent effort, you can win the game. But if you continue to hop from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, and you continue to look for the magic button, number one, you'll never find it. And number two, you eliminate your opportunity to see success in one thing. Okay? Hope that makes sense. This was a rant. If you watched all of it, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you got some sort of lesson out of it. And that's it.